Haley?
You scared me half to death. I thought that I had heard the voice of God.
Well, yeah. No, it's just me, Haley. I am sorry I scared you though, but I'm curious, and I know I ask this almost every week, but hey, what's going on?
Okay, so I read the Bible story for this week, and well, I'm a lot confused and like super worried.
Oh, well, okay. Well, this week's story is a lot to take in, and I understand, but why the fire?
Well, did you read the story? I mean, we're supposed to be making burnt sacrifices, so I'm getting ready.
Okay, so here's the first thing, and this is really important, okay? We don't have to do burnt sacrifices anymore. That's Old Testament stuff. When Jesus died on the cross, he was the ultimate sacrifice, so we don't do those kind of sacrifices.
So I don't need the fire?
No. Especially inside the building, in the basement, in the children's wing. You really should never build a fire anywhere inside unless it's in a fireplace and probably with adult supervision.
I am an adult.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what else were you confused about in the story?
So much.
Okay. So how about this? Let's just read through it, and you stop me and tell me when you're confused, and we'll talk about it, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see here. We're gonna go to Genesis. That's right, we're in Genesis. Oh, somebody's note. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham.
Okay, I'm confused.
Okay, what's confusing?
Why is God giving Abraham a test, and why isn't it on paper?
Well, I don't think paper existed quite like we have now, back in those days. And this isn't a test to see what Abraham knows. This test was given to see if Abraham really did have faith and love and want to follow God. God wanted to be sure that Abraham was the right guy for the job he had in mind.
Oh, okay. Proceed.
All right. You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Here I am, he replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out place for God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servants, stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and then we will come back to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife.
Heather, what's the knife for?
Okay, well, yeah. All right, so this part is kind of scary because God had told Abraham to sacrifice his son, so Abraham took the knife to make the sacrifice.
I don't think I can take this anymore. Why would God do this?
Okay, I'm sorry. I know this is stressful for you, okay? But it'll be okay. Remember, it all turns out okay in the end of this story. God always has a plan, and Isaac didn't get hurt, okay?
Okay. I think I'm ready. Go on.
All right, so. Whew. As the 2 of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father, Abraham. Father? Yes, my son, Abraham replied. Well, the fire and wood are here, Isaac said, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the 2 of them went on together. Okay, I just want you to know, Haley, we're going to stop right there. that some people believed that Abraham knew that God would provide someone else, or something else, I should say, and what was needed so he didn't have to hurt his son. Others say he was just showing God how faithful he was and was going to do whatever he was told. I think it was a little bit of both. Okay? Okay.
I don't really like this story.
Oh, yeah, that's understandable. It's stressful to think that God would ever ask us to do anything this hard. I mean, how about we just read on a little bit more and see what happens, and we can talk as we go, okay? Okay. So when they reached the place God had told them about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham!" "Here I am," he replied. "Do not lay a hand on the boy," he said. "Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." Abraham looked up, and there in the thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. So he went and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, "The Lord will provide." And to this day it is said, "On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided." The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, "I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed me."
I think I forgot to breathe. That got pretty intense.
Yeah, it does. But there's a lot we can learn from this story, Haley. You see, we learned that Abraham had so much faith. He followed God's commands, even if it meant losing his one and only son, Isaac. It also showed us that God can sometimes ask us to do difficult things, but there can be a great reward for our faithfulness. Like when I felt called to go to South Sudan in the middle of a civil war, it was a scary trip, but I wasn't sure what was going to go on or why I was there, but I went anyway. And when I got there, I was surrounded by people that loved me so much and showed me amazing things in their lives. I got to meet wonderful people and work with people from South Sudan and from here, and my reward was the experiences that I gained by working with the orphanage there for years.
I get it. When we are faithful to God, we get more than just stuff. We get more love and friends, stuff like that.
Yeah, faith brings us so much more than just a fancy house or things. It gives us a full life of friends and experiences that help us to love even more than we already do. It's really the best part of living.
Wow. So can we roast marshmallows?
Sure, but let's move this fire outside to the fire pit, okay? So I'm just curious, but what were you planning on sacrificing?
Oh, just something I love.